What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Devy Royale YouTube channel. And as always, I'm your host, Kevin Coleman, at DuBois_22. We are back with another episode of our freshman focus. So what we're trying to do in this episode is just look at some true freshmen right now to keep an eye on in the Devy world, in the college football world, in the C2C world. And today we are looking at Jaydn Ott. Jaydn Ott has had a phenomenal season so far and had a great game this last weekend. The former NorCal High School and Bishop Gorman High School standout, number 14 ranked running back coming into this class that went to Cal, surprisingly went to Cal, has been absolutely tearing it up. And just to show you what he's done this year, 6'2", 205, he has 56 attempts, 463 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 8.3 yards average per carry. He has 9 catches, 63 yards, and 2 touchdowns on that end. And the thing about Jaydn is he's just been phenomenal for the Cal Bears. I mean, they're 3-1. They could have beat Notre Dame. He kind of had a down game against them. But just to kind of go over what he's done in each game, against UC Davis, he had 17 carries for 104 yards, He had 2 catches, 26 yards, and a touchdown that game. UNLV, 7 attempts, not a ton of volume in that game, but still scored and had 52 yards rushing. And he added a receiving touchdown there. And then last game against Arizona, he absolutely dominated. 19 attempts, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 catches, 10 yards. He has looked very, very good. As always in these things, we're going to talk about his strengths and weaknesses and go over a little bit of film. For me, for his strengths, when we're just looking at it from a strengths perspective, top end speed, he's got very, very good burst, and he's decisive when he runs. Like when you watch him play, he can scoop. He's going to get out there. He's going to take the edge. He's going to go. He has very good burst at the line of scrimmage. So the thing to watch him is when he sees his vision and sees that hole open up, man, he can burst through that thing. And he's very decisive. So there's not a lot of some guys you especially see at the younger levels or being a young player will struggle with, okay, where am I going to hit this hole? Where am I going to look at? Jaydn is not one of those type of kids. He can absolutely play. When he sees a hole, he goes. He picks up yards after conflict. He hits the hole very, very hard. And he's never one of those guys that kind of tiptoes at the line of scrimmage or just goes through it. Like he's not those type of player. He's going to hit the hole, go, and he's going to look good doing it. Now, weaknesses, again, when we're picking out weaknesses, we're being very picky on this, but size, I think that can be a concern for some. But I do like, 6 foot. He's at 205. He came in at 196, so he's definitely put on some weight at Cal. If he can get to that 210, 215 mark without losing his speed, now we're talking about something. So I'm just going to put size on there as a caveat, though, saying, hey, early, he's a freshman, we understand. Receiving, he did in high school. So if you're looking at receiving in high school, he had that ability and with what he could do. He had 6 receptions, 74 yards, I believe his senior year or his freshman year All-American honors. And then when you're looking at what he did basically overall, he had 17 receptions, 228 yards and a touchdown. So he has shown that he can do it. He didn't show that he could be that PPR guy. So when we're talking about fantasy, that's the concern, like for his receiving aspect. And I think his pass blocking, he's got to work on that. But let's just watch the tape and kind of go through here. So you saw this against Arizona, one of the first carries of the game. He breaks this off for a touchdown. He had a 73-yard touchdown run. And so we'll see these different plays this game and this, but you can see the breakout speed, right? So when we're watching just Jaydn from that perspective, we're seeing the breakout speed go. When he gets around the edge, he has that. Now, there's a caveat about Arizona's rush defense. It's really bad, but you can't hate on a kid for going 274 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? So that is where you're going to see him. He's able to do this. If he gets to the second level, he's hard to bring down. He was a guy that I targeted a lot in C2C later in drafts because I thought he could be the running back one of this team, and he is. You'll see it here. He's strong enough to break those tackles, but then he's able to kind of extend plays with his strength, and he has the speed to get by on the second level and to get through those linebackers. And so those are the type of things you love to see about him. You'll see here, vision, he knows where he's going to go. He hits that hole. He has that open field agility to make that guy miss barely, right? But he's still able to do it. So the open field agility and that line of scrimmage burst is really, really impressive. Again, gives him a toss, uses his vision, waits for his blocks to open up, and then he's able to get to the outside. Very, very smart. A younger player, so if you're watching that, when he gets this toss, we usually see younger players dive in. Like they're going to look and just going to try to get as many yards as he can. He really lets his blocks open up, and then he realizes here, hey, I probably can't get to the inside here. He can already feel his leverage going to the outside. Let me just get to the edge and see if I can outrun some guys and get a first down. So I think that when you're watching him play, he does have that other upside too of like, hey, he understands his blocks. He understands his offenses. He understands where he's got to go in terms of just in general on the field. And so that's impressive. Again, decisive. Makes a one cut go. He gets the yards he needs to go. And then he keeps his feet moving. This is one of my favorite runs that I've seen from a freshman running back this year. I mean, he absolutely looked great on this run. He kept his feet moving. And as all my old coaches used to say, right? Our old coaches, if you play football, I used to have a coach always just tell me 4 yards every time. That's all you need, 4 yards. And I'll never forget that guy. But he's able to do this here. Keeps his feet moving. Again, terrible tackling by Arizona. Absolutely awful. But hey, you got to give him to Jaydn what he's able to do there. Now, they just kind of sealed the deal. 5 minutes left. They just got an interception here. Cal did. Arizona's, was driving. Toss out to him. Again, speed, able to get to the open field, makes a guy miss, and no one is catching him. There is no one in the league in college football at that level, especially in the Pac-12, that's going to catch him. But again, just seeing him here, open it up, sees where his blocker's got to be, bursts the hole, makes the first guy miss, and then no one catches him. If he can be that routine runner, makes that first guy miss every time, now we're talking about a high-level freshman running back. And I think that's the thing that excites you about Jaydn Ott. A lot of you guys were on him, so, we weren't the first ones at the Devy Royale. I know Jeff and Christian had him ranked really high. I had him ranked as well, and so he's moving up my board as we kind of go over all of these players. Now, when we look at outlook, so what are we talking about with him? So I think right now, when we're looking at who was in the top, I think the freshman class has still got some question marks. We got Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. Javen Blue hasn't really played. George Pettaway has looked good, right? Omarion Hampton has looked good. Javante, haven't seen him yet. Le'Veon Moss, haven't seen him out there yet. If you're looking at other guys out there that, Katron Allen, DeBoris Jones, Jordan James from Oregon flashed. But I think Jaydn deserves to be in the top 10. So we've seen him go from probably outside the top 25 for some guys and then now up to the top 10. So Jaydn's a kid that you need to keep an eye on going forward. Now for Cal, what does it look like for Cal going forward? He's their workhorse. I think he's going to be their number one guy. And I think that's impressive. The key is for us. So he's got a game against Washington State. A little bit tougher rush defense. We saw him against Oregon. Colorado, he should kill that game. Washington, Oregon, USC. Those 3 games in October and in November, early November, for him are down the stretch. Like, what can he do? And I think, hey, he could be one of these guys we're talking about as being legit players moving forward. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Jaydn Ott. Everybody else out there, remember, this is Freshman Focus. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you like Prize Picks, definitely hit that Prize Picks. Go to it. Use the promo code, the Devy Royale. You know what it is, the Devy Royale. You get a 100% match for your first deposit up to $100. So please go check that out if you haven't done it yet. It's great for Prize Picks. If you're in California, most states, as a Californian, I like to point that out, you can actually do Prize Picks. And so us Californians that can't necessarily bet, we can do Prize Picks. So go check that out. Give us the Devy Royale. Hit that like or subscribe button. And if you're not in the Patreon yet, I highly, highly recommend the Patreon. We got exclusive podcast episodes, tons of content going out, Discord, everything there for $3 a month. Pretty cheap. Overall, $3 a month, you join, exclusive access, anything you got. So I'm going to hit that outro. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like or subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in to Freshman Focus.